Hi, this is Dana with Password Reset, and this video is just to give you a quick guide or tips on how to get your newer machine, if you're running Windows 8, on one of the machines that has a UEFI interface. The boot order can be hard to change if you don't know what you're doing. The older machines were easy with just hitting like F12 when you boot up, or F2, and go in and just make a quick change to the boot order. These machines can be a little more difficult. They don't have the settings so obvious. One of the nice things is that Windows now makes it where you can go ahead and from the login screen, you don't have to be logged into Windows, but from the login screen you can go down here and just hit the shutdown button and then restart. But before you hit restart, you just want to hit shift and hold it and then click on restart. And what that'll do is it'll bring you into a sub menu pretty quick. There you go. And then you just go into what's called troubleshoot, advanced options, and then UEFI firmware settings. And then you restart, and then on the restart it's going to take you into your UEFI or BIOS, if you want to use that as a nickname for it. And you'll see here in just a second. And now we're on our UEFI page. If I can get to focus, come on. And it's basically the same as a BIOS, just it's got a different name now. It has tabs at the top. They're a little tricky to see, but they're across the top there and so forth. One other way you can do this is if the computer's at a complete shutdown. On this machine it works, and maybe on other machines it may too, is just to hold down the F2 key and just hold it while you boot up. And I was able to get this one to go right into the UEFI. So you just hold it there, and there it goes. So again, if we get to focus, and there it is. So whichever method you need to get in there, and then to change the boot order, some machines I've worked on will have a legacy legacy BIOS setting, and that will allow it to, you set it to enable, and then it'll allow it to work as like one of the older BIOSes, and it'll just look similar, and it'll have the changes that are easily made on the screen. So if you can enable legacy BIOS, that's one way to go. If you don't have that option, then the other option is with these machines that I have, like this one. It's basically the worst case scenario, and it's not real difficult to do as long as you know what you're doing. So if you have that kind of machine, fear not, I can definitely give you the instructions here to change it. So all we're going to do is you have some tabs at the top. They're a little tricky to see, but you'll see how it goes back, and forth from boot, security, and so forth. All we need to do is we just need to change the boot tab. Now these should be on the same tabs on other machines, may be a little different, but the tabs should be the same. But what you're looking for at some place in the UEFI is the CSM, and that stands for Compatibility Support Mode. And you're just gonna, mine says Launch CSM, so what I want to do is enable that. So I'm gonna hit the Enter key and then choose Enable. And then the other one's under the Security tab, right there, and it is the Secure Boot Control. And you're just gonna disable that. So I'm gonna go down to that and disable Secure Boot Control. And the last thing I want to do is to save and exit. Now I can use the tab for save and exit, or just hit F10. It's pretty common. So I'm going to hit F10 and then yes. And then the machine's going to reboot. Now I can go ahead and let it reboot and go to the login screen and then do the shift trick. Another thing you try to do is, while it's at this screen here, before that little wheel starts going, you can hit F2 and it'll go in there. But I'm going to show you this way just to give you a reminder on it. So when it reboots, apologize for the glare of my picture in there, or my silhouette. Okay, so from this screen here, you're just going to do, again, you're going to go the power button, come on, and then restart, and again you just hit shift and hold it while you're clicking on that. And then you can go troubleshoot, advanced, UEFI, restart. And now when we go in, it's going to be changed. Now I have a formatted password reset USB drive here already inserted. So now you'll see when I go into, and this is not under boot, you'll see it, you'll have it under boot here, boot options, so forth. But with this, you want to go into save and exit. And you'll notice that under the boot override there is what we're looking for. And now I have Patriot Memory PMAP there, and that's my memory drive. And that wasn't there before, but after making those changes, I can now just click on, hit enter there, and it's now going to reboot and go into the password reset USB drive and run it, and allow me to reset a password. And this will work for any kind of boot device, or CD or DVD and so forth. So, and then you just want to make sure after you're done is to put your settings back to the other way. So enable if you disabled and disable if you enabled, and then you're good. So you'll see here, this is saying starting Windows. My reset 4.5 is based on a boot Windows boot USB. So you'll see it has password reset and so forth. So it didn't actually go into the hard drive, it went into the USB drive, and there's our password reset and so forth. And there's a video on that as well, so I won't go into the full details. But to change your boot settings and get the boot device to launch and be able to reset a password and so forth, this is a great tip for getting that done, and it works excellent. So if you have any questions, feel free to email me or contact me and we'll get you going. Thanks, and good luck with your password resetting and all your computer needs.